Welcome to another episode of Sneakernomics. Today is Brian sitting in for Julian because Julian is off on holiday in Melbourne. Today we have a very, very special guest because all my guests are all special. The one and only Nelson Tan from SoleWhat.
Yes, hi. Hi, everyone.
Also known as Arnel, right?
Yes.
Majority of people know you as Arnel.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Maybe you can give a bit of like a lowdown of what is
Who am I?
basically Arnel. Yeah.
I'm a GM of SoleWhat,
Okay.
and I'm joined SoleWhat since day one until now.
Day one is when?
Day one is 2007, 2007. I think it's to be 26 or 27 September.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Oh, very
yeah,
on the
since
dot,
day
huh?
one until nowadays. Yeah.
2007. My math is bad. It's like what, 12 years?
Yeah.
Is that 12 years?
Yeah. Coming 12.
Okay. So, do you like maybe you can tell us what does a GM of SoleWhat do? Like,
Basically, just managing the whole business, whole sneaker boutique, premium boutique chain business, taking care of the P&L, the merchandising side, the marketing side, the operation side,
basically everything.
and making choices, making decisions, setting path,
Okay.
setting goal.
So before SoleWhat, what were you doing? Like,
Oh, this is interesting. I'm obsessed with sneakers. So my first job is working in Izue. Izue is a Hong Kong brand. Then why I choose to work there because they stock the Adidas original shoes.
Okay.
I think they brought it from Hong Kong last time, so they do have Adidas original shoes. Then after that, the boss Tatong Ng, they formed a local brand called 3.6. So he also into the sneaker business. So
Yep.
so he also asked me to bring in some special edition shoes. We work with Converse, Puma.
I think they're kind of known as 360 right now, right?
I don't know they still existing now or not, but yeah, 3.6. 3.6.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are the first person to bring in the Adidas original range. So yeah,
Yeah, I remember back then like walking into I think the stores were called like 360 or something like that.
that's much later on when
Yeah.
they turn to the multi-label
Yeah,
stores.
and then I remember seeing some consortium in there.
No,
Some pretty kind of like you were never
a
expecting
lot
to be
of
there.
surprise.
Yeah.
A lot of surprise stuff.
Were you still with them or you already left to SoleWhat back then? At that
I
point?
can't remember. So let me follow up my journey. And then after that, I realized that the bigger part of the more fun part side is the Nike SB. So I work with Matthew for the showroom. Yeah, I think you guys also heard of this. Then after showroom, then after the SB time is the NSW time, the beginning rise of NSW time. So I so lucky that being invited by Edwin, so we start SoleWhat.
So it's been 12 years, and within that 12 years, you guys also had this pretty big store, I would call it Juice KL.
Yes.
It's quite a huge deal for us in Malaysia.
Yes.
How did the connection with Edison Chen begin? Like,
I didn't expect you ask the question so early, but I can. It's happened at the right time, at the right moment. It's like Edwin have a common friends, so very close to crowd people. So we have an idea. Why don't we start something big and something fast forward at the right time, at the moment, in Malaysia. So we get connected to the crowd people, and surprisingly, we are click. And at the time, they are very supportive as Edison Chen need a platform to going out again, and our mission to build a nice store, and it's click with them. So we managed to make it happen. But again, I realized that this thing might be happen too early. Yeah, but still it's a good ride.
Oh, I definitely remember walking to the store. It's like, it's nothing you've seen in KL before, lah.
I would
Definitely.
like to say it's a privilege for me to do this because back then everything is so small, the crowd is so niche,
Yeah.
the consumer is still not that big.
The scene didn't grow yet.
The scene didn't go there, but so we can execute this stuff with the minimum cost that we involve. Imagine if we are doing this now, there will be wow. So imagine that we're able to got the right place, nice interior, nice stuff, yeah, and nice people.
Yeah. Any plans to bring it back? Anytime soon?
It's always in the mind, but we didn't really put it on the actions.
Wawasan Doplo maybe.
We have a lot of plans in SoleWhat, and basically we didn't taking a rest on this, so it's a bit hard for us to take another new projects. But yes, if the right time is they are click, if they are happy, why not? Yeah,
true. So like, would you consider yourself a sneakerhead?
I like your questions because personally I don't like being called sneakerhead, because how do you define sneakerheads?
How do you define?
How do you?
For me,
Yes.
I someone who pretty much is in love with sneakers, and they buy occasionally or maybe more often than most people.
I think what make me feel not really favored of this word, because a lot of people claim to be a sneakerhead, but while what you wear is the hype of the shoes.
Okay.
Yes, I can tell you everything about the hype shoes, and how great the shape of feel got to be made, or how innovation the Adapt BB, the basketball laceless shoes is pretty interesting.
Yep,
but I also, as a sneakerhead, I also can tell you the stories. There's a brand called 361 Degree who do the lifestyle shoe with the solid running technology. Or I also can tell you another story that there's a peak performance to coming out the new technology like 4% and selling at 300 ringgit.
Yeah.
Or there's a street basketball shoe called Equalizer, who really following the footsteps of N1, who trying to make the scene, and the shoe is really nice. But have you ever heard of that?
Okay.
And a pair
I
of
get your
shoes,
point, yeah.
and a pair of shoes I just gave you is cost like 50 ringgit. It's still a pair of nice shoes.
Yeah. But by the way, before the show started, Nelson gave me a pair of shoes.
I'm just thinking that you are the white shoe guy, so
Yeah, and it's from China. I don't know. I like canvas shoes. It's a brand called Warrior. Can you guys see it? Yeah. It's from China.
it's
It costs
your
what?
shoes. It's your shoes.
50
yeah.
ringgit?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's 79 renminbi. So what sneakerhead to you? Do you really like sneakers? What if take out the element of hype? Do you still really fall in love with sneakers? Do you wear to impress people, or do you wear to impress yourself?
I think impress myself. Yeah. I'm more like, I don't really like to wear something which a lot of people is wearing. For example, if everyone's into some particular model.
This is a very important question, and I like to take the chance to explore more. As in, you really have to understand, if you call yourself a sneakerhead and you wear sneakers, and your aim is to impress people or impress yourself. And for example, you dress up everything nice or hype, but it's turned out to be the fashion army. It's a stereotype.
Yeah.
Then what's make you different? You are just being categorized. So you are sneakerhead. I a little bit skeptical on that.
For me, it's more of just being comfortable with what you want to wear, I guess. I'm not, to me, I know there are a lot of people who like, hype, and then you're going to wear something hype just to impress people. To me, it's not about impressing people. It's just about wearing what I feel is comfortable. For example, I like loose baggy pants. And
For me, it's different. For me, as a sneakerhead, I call myself sneakerhead.
there you go.
As a people who really deeply obsessed to sneakers, I would chase for the technology. I don't like a lot. I don't like a lot of noise. I would say I use the term noise is because a lot of things is repeat. By following the hype is a noise. The part 1, part 2, part 3 literally is the cycle of the part 1.
So would you say Virgil's the 10 is noise?
Virgil the 10, the 10
is.
Let me ask you a question. The 10s
wasn't 10.
The 10 is the 10s.
Yeah.
The 10 break down to 2 design philosophy.
Yep.
And Can you name me the philosophy?
One is light, one is dark. I can't remember the exact
No.
name. I can't remember.
The term is, one is ghosting and one is reviewing.
ghosting reviewing.
Ghosting and
Okay.
reviewing.
I
So
sound so stupid right now.
the 10 shoe come with the concept and the design concept and design element behind, which I really appreciate it. But after that, it's a different story.
Yeah.
It's just like, but I need to give Virgil on that because he know how to create things that can duplicate and can be duplicate very fast and help Nike bring back to what it is today. Because it's so easy, recognizable.
Yep.
I also don't like the thing is, I also don't like the shoe that is so recognizable to capture the moment. The 10 is a shoe that captured the moment of 2018. So literally, maybe after 5 years,
More like 2017.
and the October of 2017,
Yeah.
the mass is 2018. I think just after maybe the
Yeah.
30.
It just really lost me there. Like in 2018, I think Off-White just literally became sort of
so
annoying.
it's happening now, but what if 5 years later? I would more appreciate the Jerry Lorenzo to create a Fear of God, which is create a silhouette that you can use it as a performance and dressing shoe at the same time. And yeah, this is a breakthrough thinking that hard to come by, and I really appreciate his effort. And he cannot be like Virgil.
So is it because you prefer something like that? Is it because it's innovative, it's brand new, it's something new that is not done before?
I'm very curious guy to really chase for something new.
Okay, so how would you classify Adidas then? Like Adidas been putting out so many new stuff in 2018, but what do you think about all their new stuff?
They're trying.
Yeah.
They know people get bored of Boost, but they're trying, and they've been trying very hard. And yes, I love the effort. They somehow some of the model they get it right. Like I don't think a lot of Malaysian people know it. There's a basketball shoe called Next Level.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, it's almost coming out the same time as that BB. So yeah, they've been trying to find the right tune for the shoe. You cannot criticize for the brand who keep trying. I would rather criticize the brand who give up trying.
But there's also a problem with trying too much, which is it doesn't translate to sales. Do you think it does? It translates to sales?
How to say? I don't think if you're looking for the bigger visions, right? Like the Adidas 4D, the sales is not the priority. The priority is how they change the supply chains of the whole thing. Imagine the shoe need to be made origin from the factories and come to the store. There's a right journey. By using the 4D technology, you can have the machine in your country or in your city,
Yep.
and they can produce shoe, and you can have the shoe within 5 days. So it's a supply chain thing. But you have to understand the innovation doesn't come with speed. You need some time to develop.
Yep.
Like the 4D just discovered a breakthrough by Carbon. Carbon released a newsletter that the cost of 4D going to jump to lower down by 50%. So yeah, that's another breakthrough. So you can get 4D shoe by a few $100. So yes, the sales is not priority. How to make it a bigger pictures for the brand to contribute to the community, make it a better world. 4D definitely is, how to say, it's a good concept, and with the recycle concept, aligned with Parlay. So it doesn't really aim for the sales. It really aim for the bigger pictures.
So would it be safe to say that in your line of work you have to do quite a lot of research on all these things that happen?
I'm a very lazy person. I don't think I really look for it. I'm just curiosity. I just want to find out. I just curious. I just want to know what happens.
Okay. So, but that also, because you're curious, it does help with your job.
Yes. It does make it. It's helped me make a lot of fantastic decision on my job.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, like if you're running a sneaker store, majority of the time, the sneakers that you see in the store is actually placed, 1 year ahead. 6 months.
I think you, yeah, 6
right?
months or 9
6
months.
months, and sometimes it's also 1 year, right? Yeah. So whatever you see in store, it's actually placed. The order was placed a year, 6 months.
6 months, 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, 6 to 9 months ahead of time. So, for you, how do you know like whatever that you're choosing is gonna be, top notch? Like people are gonna buy that stuff 6 months down the road, 9 months down the road.
I mainly I did that based on my instinct.
Instinct.
Yes.
Is there like some sort of like a process you do, like research or look through Instagram or whatever? You just
It's very hard to say. I might do some stupid decisions who turn out to be a very good move. And
like what?
Like, I can show you some example. Like one famous example that I see the Rihanna joining the Puma. So
Yeah.
I see then come out the Fenty sandal with the fur.
Oh yeah, that furry.
Yeah. So I think is that a sandal? Point one, sandal is suitable for Malaysia. Point two, Rihanna is one of the most influential celebrity in the world, no doubt.
Yep.
Third, she just joined Puma. She need a big boom. So I did order quite a lot. I can say my order is top in the world.
In the world.
Yes. And
Can you reveal how many pairs?
no,
Okay.
but definitely it's
But
for
the top in the world.
It's just like nobody believing me to put in the orders.
Okay.
So can you imagine it's a sandal with fur, and so what is a sneaker store? So
But it's sold out, right? It's
there's another funny story is back then that we did sell watches, and I also make a decision who sell DW watches.
yeah.
The first 2 years in SoleWhat, we are the first store who carry DW watches. Then you ask me why you stock DW watches. I said I don't know. It's based on instinct. This thing is cool. And we also stocking Rasta Club. I think Rasta Club that 100% stocking now. I think we stock way back then during the Gucci colorway still on. I think we ordered 1,000 pieces on that. And I have this instinct and what suits, understanding the global trend, analyzing the market, what market needs, and we just trying to bring it in as fast as we can.
So now that you mentioned that, we can see that among your competitors, which there isn't many also. Let's just talk about local sneaker store, right? Don't talk about the bigger ones. You have Crossover, and you have 100%,
Well, who else?
and then there's no one else, right? So it's just these two. So of course, like 100%, they at one point they were doing a lot of events. Crossover, they were doing a lot of events, and then you have SoleWhat, which don't do
None
events.
active.
They do.
None
I think they only
activations.
did one, the first ever MX Day celebration
Yes.
in Malaysia. That's the only one. And
What's the reason, right?
why is it that, and how do you think SoleWhat has managed to stay ahead of
Do you
everyone
think
else?
SoleWhat is staying ahead?
I don't know. Are you affected by anything? I mean, like everyone's complaining business is bad. Is business bad?
Instead of doing it, I have this thinking that instead of having activation to check up the excitement, why don't you just do the groundwork to bring the nice product in the store to satisfy your customers? This is what I think. I can show you the perfect example just happened. So I went to a Nike, I see the buy. That time I was really hungry for the M2K that no. I'm the Dead Shoe fans, by the way. So I didn't see my whole list have any pair of M2K that no. So I feel very frustrated. So I say, why Nike? I need that. I need the shoe. Can you find for me? So they all didn't see the shoe. They all don't know what shoe it is. So I say okay. My side have problem too. What if I bring it to the shoe? What if I bring the shoe out? How many can you order? So I say how much you want, not how many you want, how much you want. So I can fulfill your order first without seeing any colorways. So by doing this, we secure the Paris, the black color Paris M2K Techno in Malaysia. I think just for luckily only SoleWhat have it. So if you understand everything, if you understand the sneaker scenes good enough, if you come get the top tier stuff like Off-White, you still can seek for the second tier, fight for your best to service your customer. Instead of doing the activations, instead of a lot of planning stage, I'd rather spend effort on bringing what's good to customers.
So safe to say you're more product based.
Not really. I'm just, because the sneaker world is so many choices and so, how to say, so many messages. You don't know what's good, what's wrong. So let SoleWhat decide for you what's good, what's wrong.
Why is there so? I mean, the scene is like so big right now. I wouldn't say very big lah, but it was bigger than last time.
I have this philosophy. I don't know you guys agree or not. It's always the top of the influencer. They want to buy sneakers during their young time, like Edison Chen. They want to buy sneakers, but they can't find the sneakers. So when they grow up, they have some powers, like all the Nike people and like all the Adidas people, like all the Vans people. When they reach certain stage in the career path, they want to bring back the childhood joy. So they want to release the shoe that he can buy. So instead of, I cannot create a shoe that I like and nobody love. So I need to shout to everyone, this is a shoe that everyone loved back then. This is the greatest moment, like the AJ11.
Okay.
So when these people, Justin Timberlake, everyone, Kanye, they all saying the same language, sneaker is cool. So how can you escape from that?
But coming back to this question here, the scene is getting bigger and bigger, especially in Malaysia, right? And like using Sneakerla as a benchmark, we can tell like every year it gets bigger. So definitely the scene is growing. But why is it that the players in terms of stores,
They all
getting smaller and smaller? Like
for this, a lot of people, it's sad to say, the sneaker used to be the very niche hobby to become a mass corporate stuff. So the money and the effort and the professional knowledge to get into this industry is getting harder. And you need to have instinct. You need to have the instinct. The instinct comes from the experience. You need to make sure you don't screw it up, because one mistake can create.
when you say money, you mean like the amount of money needed to start the business is way higher. Is that what you're trying to say?
I would easily say at least 3 or 4 millions.
Easily for one store.
Yes.
That includes stock and everything.
Then includes stock and the normal operation for you.
Would there be any obstacle from the brand itself?
Yes. The brand need to evolve. What do you mean by the obstacle?
Obstacle meaning like, I can't just open up a sneaker store and like, okay lah, let's say I got 3-4 million. Then I just open up a store, but
that's definitely the benchmark, that the brand doesn't like investor. They want a retailer. They want the people who know the business to do the business. But this is why this happened, because there's so many people out there with money want to come to this game, and so less people who really know how to do this business. So so that's why a lot of people underestimate the fund need to be involved, and the professional knowledge that need to be involved. Like me, I've been dealing with the operation and marketing and merchandising side, and I need to make the right choice. If I make the wrong choice, they easily screw up. So that's not many people in the scene can achieve that. But I see a different way now, and I see the Stadium Group just sold his business to Farfetch 250 million. Yeah. So maybe the consignment single store is the next trend. Yeah. I do hope that Malaysia have another one proper consignment sneaker store for everyone.
What do you think about 17 Gallery?
I didn't heard from them. I didn't heard anything from them, so I better don't questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you think the future of the sneaker industry is actually something like stadium goods?
No.
Or
I play my part right. I'm operating SoleWhat. I provide a fresh sneaker with retail price. Then what's others? What's your part? What's the second? What's the second liner? What's the second liner sneaker shop? If you play your part right, imagine you come to KL, you visit us, then you go to JD Sport for the mass selections. Then what's next? No. What if I want to see a pair of Easy? What if I want to see a pair of Off-White? Then no place for you to go. No place for you to post Instagram pictures. You've been there, done that. No. I see there's opportunity for this. And I can't do that. I just hope somebody can do that.
you mentioned JD Sports, so there are a few big brands that come to Malaysia, like for example JD Sports. We have Footlocker.
Can you take over this? This box is
annoying.
it's not. It's like you pay, it's like I purposely pay for this. I'm not going to promote this. It's just a friend.
Thanks, Warrior. If you want to send me more shoes and send Nelson more shoes,
Yeah,
you can do so at.
Yeah, back to your JD Sport question.
Well, you get all these big players, right? And they're all international big store chains, Like JD Sports, the biggest in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, and Footlocker is the biggest in the States. And they're all here in Malaysia. And what do you think will be the effect?
I love them, man. I love them. I love Justin bringing in the JD Sports. Kudos to him. He changed the scene.
Okay.
He's make Malaysia.
Well, when you say change the scene, like how? What do you mean?
It's like if you see the JD Sport annual report, they especially mention their venture into the Malaysia. So for a Europe sneaker world that look at Southeast Asia, I think this is the first. This is the first, and I think by JD Sport coming here, only we realize that how big is Southeast Asia.
Yep.
How wide our audience can reach, and our market can be more, more energetic. And of course we face some challenge we need to get stuff that parallel with them, on par with them. So the brand have to react. Somehow the brand have to react. Imagine if Malaysia without JD Sport, without Footlocker.
Oh boy.
When you talk to the brand, oh, I want this, I want that, the brand will just say, oh, you are the third world country. So your allocation is not fall to you yet.
That was happening for so long, right?
That's what happening for so long.
Yeah.
If JD was come here, so A1 pay attention to it. As you can see, it's already changed. In Malaysia, you can't, currently at this moment, 2019, you can't complain at you can't buy shoe in Malaysia.
Yeah, definitely.
For Adidas, we have almost have all the release. Even though Nike, we have almost all the release. Although it didn't flow to the retailer like us, but it's happened on Nike.com.
Yeah.
I can strongly say that if without JD Sport, this thing might take another 1 or 2 years. You can get whatever you want now. Just, of course, there will be some quantity issue because the hunger strategy is part of their game. But by showing the positive energy in the scenes, eventually if everything goes right, our quantity will get bigger.
So in the grand scheme of things, how do you think it's important to have a store, a localized sneaker store like SoleWhat in Malaysia? Like, you go to Amsterdam, you have Pata, you have Keith in New York, you have Undefeated in LA, that kind of stuff. So like each city has their own sneaker store. So
when I think this question is chicken and egg questions.
Chicken and egg.
Why? If the brand don't see your city
as
important, then no matter how hard you try, it's still a little bit out of reach.
So is it still down to the brand to actually take notice of the scene and also of the store itself?
I would say it's happened to a lot of brands, especially big brands. It's not easy to achieve that, but doesn't mean that you can have a cool stores. You can have a cool selections, but this also you can have a cool store, you can have a cool selections, you can choose the best from the brand provide. It still makes SoleWhat survive until now.
Okay. So you are saying that it kind of like there's a big possibility that the brands gotta like take notice of your store first in order for you to get all this
I
good
don't
stuff.
think I don't think only SoleWhat is the whole scene.
Is that why all these like everyone's just like, okay, I got money, let's just go and buy a big chain of, for example, let's just go and buy a chain of Atmos and we put it in Malaysia. It's easier.
Yes.
Okay.
But it doesn't stand. But it doesn't. You lose the uniqueness of Malaysians. The brand. I believe the brand also in the dilemma now whether want to accept this or doing that. So, yeah, I'm being challenged on that to how to maintain a Malaysian white sneaker stores. It's Malaysian white sneaker lifestyle store. It's not easy because we are not corporate people. We are the street smart people who really offset with sneakers to come out from nothing to build the stores. So those, even though at most they are a little bit they are very corporate and standard now. They have their, as you can see the SoleWhat store, none of them is the same. We don't like duplicate and build process.
Yep.
So I don't know how long I can keep the originality, but that's what us. But if the brand decided, oh, I rather give Amos rather than you because you are not making any progress, it's fine. I will find other way. I will find different brands. I will look for the different category, maybe another DW, who knows?
Or maybe another Rihanna Fenty.
Yes.
So, if let's say someone who is thinking of starting a sneaker business, they want to open a sneaker store, what would you say to the person after going through 12 years of this?
Get the business idea really well. Understand the brand KPI. Understand what brands needs. Your store existing must be contribute to the scenes, contribute to the community, and polish up the brand image and servicing in communities. Yes. And understand the scene, understand the business model, understand and have gather a lot of monies.
Minimum 5 million?
5 million is actually 5 million. I also scared you can't open a proper stores.
Really? Yeah.
You just count.
God.
So
how much minimum? Like, just put it out there. Like,
I think 5 million is a good start.
It's a good start.
But you need to spend a lot on the social media nowadays. As
Okay.
You have to build a very strong Instagram. You have to buy Google Ads, this kind of stuff. I see a lot of people now, they are being aggressive on that. But I'm literally that SoleWhat is spending the least on the social media. Everything is come from our authentic feed, which is I'm really proud of.
okay.
And this is lead to the another make the right choice moment. Is like start the Instagram, start the Facebook page. So if a lot of things don't start at the right place, like when I see sneaker is down, so I contacted Red Wing and Dr. Martens. If I don't make the right choice, I won't survive today.
Speaking of social media, do you get a lot of influencers texting you?
You mean me personally?
You and SoleWhat lah.
SoleWhat is
or hitting you up.
For free shoes. I've been managing the SoleWhat Instagram for the first 2 years. Then later on, this bothered me too much time, so I passing down to the staff. So it become a very clean workflow. So
Bothering you.
Yes. Yeah, I need to set a timer. Oh, I need to post.
Oh, okay. Not some guy who's texting you.
And once I accidentally post my 8-tat picture on SoleWhat, and all my staff call me and being laugh at that, and the 8-tat picture I stick to my door to prevent that happen again.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
do you get a lot of likes?
I get a lot of comments. Investing on Instagram is a fun part because Evin in a way mentioned take a nicer picture. I say how? I say then he say, you ask for the equipment, you got it. You just squeeze it out something fresh. So we try to squeeze out. So I remember that time so many years ago. We are the first we are the first boutique who bring proper on the Instagram pictures, and it turns out really well today.
But my initial question was, do you get a lot of influencers texting you like you know, especially when the Yeezys are dropping, you know, like, hey, Nelson.
I thought you say the sorry, I get
influencers. Let's talk a bit about influencers here, man. Like, I'm sure a lot of influencers approach you and go,
why
like,
not? They say, why not? If you think you qualify, why not? If you think you qualify, why not? For me, like, my staff is the pillar of the business. They all get. I'm sorry for the previous episode to say the different stuff. My staff is the pillar of the business. They deserve to be the best shoes. They deserve to wear the best shoes. Of course, we control them, but they deserve it. And the influencer who contribute to the scene, they deserve it too. So, what's make the influencer and staff not important than the person who got the shoe and resell it?
Makes a lot of sense.
So,
makes a lot of sense.
I just control it at the right amount, and everyone will be happy on that.
So, are you trying to say that you have like some sort of a reward system for your staff?
No. If they want the shoe, if they like the shoe, we just trying to make sure that
they get it.
My job is trying to make sure that they literally wear the shoes.
Okay.
So I did some stupid thing like draw the name on the box.
Okay, does that help? They still can sell it, right?
Use with the box with your name.
Yeah.
Come on. So it's a bit hard. So yeah, I want my staff to have a best shoe they can have.
Okay, so let's talk about bigger picture here. What do you think is going to be the major thing for 2019? Which brand are you personally looking forward to?
I have no preference. Everyone is actively changing.
It's not preference, but from your knowledge and your instinct, which brand do you think is...
My answer might a little bit out of reach because there's a trade war happening between US and China.
Yeah, definitely.
So in China, the Nike shoe going to be more expensive. So what's coming out is a China brand. The China brand then produce shoes that not there yet, but they get the right formula, some sort of right formula. So I see some shoes that, like the Anta, they produce that shoes, LA Runner, almost happening the same time with the 700s.
Yep. That's a very nice shoe.
Can you imagine by a few years of evolve, and those China brands can become part of the major player in the scenes? As you can see, Anta just acquire Solomon, Sunto, and some winter brand. So can you imagine the Anta shoe with the Solomon technology and selling at the 300-400 ringgits? So
world domination.
So while the big boys Nike, Adidas, they are playing high price, and what's your alternative? So how the market will shift, I don't know. Would the whole group move to the Adapt BB willing to pay $350 for a pair of basketball shoes?
Do you think because Adidas and Nike has created this sort of bubble?
It's not bubble.
Because back then when I was a real estate agent, when prices keep increasing for property, right? They always say it's going to be a bubble because
I don't think that
it's increasing.
I don't think this is the bubble because I don't think this is a bubble. How to say? There's a demand.
Yeah, there's a demand, but wait, my question is not finished. Because Adidas and Nike is playing that whole like 700, 800 ringgit price war around there, and then here you come this Chinese company, these few Chinese companies will go like, heck, I can make that shoe for like 50 ringgit, you know, and I can sell it for 500 ringgit and still make money.
So one day
do you think they can really go like full on world domination?
One day you will face a dilemma that you willing to have a pair of shoes instead of having 20 pairs of other shoes.
What do you mean?
Imagine if I buy a pair of Adapt BB instead of if I giving up the thought of buying the Adapt BB, I can buy 10 pair of others basketball shoes. So which one is sound convincing? Yeah, it's a personal preference. Which one is sound convincing to you? I get a pair of Fear of God or 40 pairs of another basketball shoes. So when this thing getting the big boy keep chasing the extra height on this, and the underdog, they keep coming up from the low, there will be some point people might switch. Once they switch,
That's it.
it's not that's it, like, it's just like the scene will be merrier. There will be more choices. You can Google it, the street ball guys who start a brand called Equalizer. The first shoe they just do the first shoe. It's look pretty nice though. It's only 400 ringgit. So
From China as well?
From China as well, yes. So
There's one American brand which we never really mentioned throughout this like 30 minutes of talking. Under Armour. So what do
I'm a big fan of Under Armour.
you're a big fan of Under Armour?
Because as you can see, everyone have the questions why SoleWhat is talking Under Armour. Because as a brand who are suffering, they are dying to change. I'm really hope Under Armour change to some certain good form to really can excite the market. I can see that they did the SF Rocky shoes. It's a good start.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping the next. That's why I'm stocking up. That's why I'm stocking Under Armour in SoleWhat. Because I literally hoping it for the change.
So you don't really have like a particular. You're still very strong on China. Like you think 2019 is.
No. 2019 I didn't strong on China because they're still coming up. They're still not there yet.
Not there yet.
But I'm really.
But we recently had a chat before this chat, and you were talking to me about your trip to China and how much of an eye-opening experience it was. Maybe you care to share with our listeners, like
like they show me the Anta saw my article. By the way, for your information, I'm constantly writing article in one of the platform called Zhihu. So Anta. My article getting...
Don't be so humble. Okay, Anel is actually also a writer and he writes for a few websites. He writes articles for many different websites.
My article now being posted, I think, on 7-8 platform now.
Yeah.
And
so now
back then, let me finish my training.
Anel is kind of like a KOL already in China. It's quite famous in China.
So I'm going to share this to my fans when the YouTube is up.
Don't be so humble.
Then Anta brought me to their workshop to show me how they did the Clay Thompson shoe. Who really amazed me is they hire somebody from Adidas who very senior designer to do the Clay Thompson signature shoes. What they do is, I can show you the picture later, or you can post it on YouTube. It's like they're drawing few thousand of scratch of futuristic shoe, few thousand
sketches. Okay.
Just an outline or some element. Let Clay Thompson choose it. So Clay Thompson say, oh, I like this, I like that, I like this. I pick this, and combination of few thousand to 6-7 pieces, and combine the both element to the shoes. So this kind of interesting that nobody does that, and with all the effort, they got another one effort that a lot of big boy that didn't practice is they need to maintain the low price point to servicing their community.
Okay.
So the shoe need to be like 200-300 ringgit. So I really see the effort of their how they streamline their business, how they're managing the cost to make sure that everyone can afford to buy the shoe.
How cheap are we talking about here?
120 ringgit for a pair of basketball shoes. Yeah, so. Yeah,
oh my god.
So
we can. I think with that price, what can we buy? 120 ringgit, we can buy what? Bata shoes.
I can even show you some few pictures that how affordable the price of the shoe. Even though the Clay Thompson signature shoe is only selling like 360 ringgit. So I see the effort. I see the effort trying to beat the big boys, yet trying to maintain the price point.
Trying to service their community at the same time.
Yeah, it's not easy though. If You want to bring a shoe compete with the international player, yet you have to sell it cheap.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So I love their effort. I love their effort
I walked
to do
into I was in China recently, Guilin. I went for holiday.
this. Yeah. You just see the price.
It's amazing. Like when you walk into Anta store, right? You can really mistaken it for international brand, and it's really on point.
And the price point is affordable.
Yeah. So I was looking to buy like jacket because it was freezing cold and I didn't bring a proper jacket. So I walked into Anta and I went and looked at all their Michelin, the Michelin kind of jackets. And I
299?
Yeah,
299
renminbi.
Yes.
Which is like 160 ringgit. Like, what in the world? What kind of pricing is that? It's ridiculous. And you just like you have Anta, you have 361 like you mentioned. You
Peak
have
Performance,
Peak and
Warriors and Feiyu,
Warriors not so many.
and
Li-ning. These four I literally see wherever I go. You go around town and you can see like at least 3 to 4 stores and they're everywhere. And it's amazing. Like China is a big market and it's a different monster there.
That's another interesting story of 361. 361 like is a local China brand who very low end. So the boss like running. So one day the boss said, hey, why don't I start another similar brand? It's called 361 also, but I form in US, something like that. Hey, no, in Taiwan. So he hired all the people from other brands who create the shoe, literally the solid performance shoe under the same brand, 361 degree. The shoe won a Runner's World Choice.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a runner choice.
Wow.
Can you imagine you have two identity? One is selling low end price in the China and one is selling super high price. Not super high, like 199 USD instead.
And they won. And these guys that he hired to do this shoe is from Taiwan.
He's a shoemaker.
Okay.
He's a shoemaker for it's the brand that you know.
Okay.
Yeah, he's already made 20 years of the experience, so he just bring the technology over there and try to make the shoes. This is a very interesting story, and China is coming up like at one point, and so they also want to change. So the overseas shoe they started to move all the technology from the overseas shoe to brand into the local shoe with the local price. Can you imagine by the long run?
Yeah. So how many trips have you done to China recently? Like because of this?
I think should be 3 or 4. I didn't really calculate. Yeah.
And each time you go there, it's like an invite by a particular brand.
Yes, different brands.
Okay. So and what do they want you to do when you go there? Like
they want me to cover some events, or they want me to give consultations, thought, opinions. They want me to see the range to give the ideas. Because they value my articles. They say it's hard to find someone to give opinion that's so on point. So basically, I can see there's more in the futures. There's more happening in the futures. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that my instinct or my knowledge can contribute to the positive outcome.
Yeah, speaking about your article, one of the first few articles you wrote, which I managed to get it translated, thanks to Tunwei. Shout out Tunwei for translating it. It was about Boost, right? And I think in the article you mentioned something about how Boost came about and why it's really helping the brand. Let's give it an update right now. Okay, like right now in this conversation, let's give it an update. Do you think Boost is dead, or do you think Boost is gonna
Boost has become the fundamental of the Adidas is forever there. I don't think Boost will fade out. It just become normal. But of course, people get tired of it. But the mass is not. People still buying. It's comfortable shoes. So what I'm looking forward is after the Boost, everyone be aiming for is 4D. Yeah. So.
You're looking forward for 4D lah. Okay. Yeah, I just got a few more questions, but
let's ask the most controversial one.
What's the most controversial?
I got something to say before you ask the question. I hope there's more player in the scenes. There's more contributor in the scenes. I really appreciate
when you say contributor, like what do you mean contributor?
I really appreciate that you're doing a podcast. Dunwei doing his stuff.
Yep.
And a lot of local brand against lab. Suren is doing their part.
Yep.
A lot. The streetwear is interrelated with sneakers, no doubt that. I really hope that a lot of people playing their part right to make the scenes merrier and lets the brand see us. And when they think of the bigger release, hyper release, more limited release, Malaysia is part of the cake. Wow, I already did my part. I'm waiting for other people to come in.
But just you have a lot of insight into the brands because you work very closely with them through your role. In terms of Southeast Asia, there's like basically 4 countries like Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia. Among all these 4 countries, Philippines, that one's different lah. Philippines, they are different target market, a different segment lah altogether. I mean, among these 4 countries, right? Is it safe to say that currently majority of the brands are focusing on Thailand right now?
No. Just because Thailand is fun, a lot of global player there doesn't mean that the focus is there.
So where do you think they're focusing on now?
I think, to be honest, I don't think any of country is in the focus because
None of the countries.
Because as you look at the version of God, the Southeast Asia is so small. It's like a state in China. Then Malaysia is one kampong of the state.
Oh my god, now that you put it that way.
So the whole Southeast Asia, they treat it as one, I believe. It's 1 or 0.
But okay, so
You got food, you don't have food. If you got food, Malaysia definitely gets some leftover.
is it safe to say that Malaysia is making the most noise among the 4 countries?
Hard to say. Or
do you see someone else?
But if you ask every foreigners, right? If you ask every foreigner, they all prefer Thailand.
Yeah.
But Malaysia is happening. I'm really grateful that I'm in Malaysia. It's happening.
Because in our earlier conversation, right, we were talking about some of these brands having to notice you to sort of like, really be involved in that country particularly, right? So what do we have to do in Malaysia to sort of reach there to a point where, the brands are really paying attention to us?
Being aggressive. Do something that you never dream of. Being aggressive.
Okay,
Be there to dream.
Give us an example.
No. The perfect example is JD Sports. It's like in Malaysia, somebody Justin flew to UK. Can you imagine the conversation? I want your JD Sports to be in Malaysia. In my country.
It must have been a very weird conversation.
Be there to dream.
Yeah,
be there to dream.
yeah,
be there to do something different. We set the platform right, but our capability is there. This is so much I can do. My brand is there. There's so much I can do. What if you have a crazy ideas like, let's bring Keith here and get it to work. Put aside to bring a global player. In the end, we're just doing the same thing. Make the scene merrier.
Yep.
If you can achieve that, or I want to spend 10 million for a store, you can make a super giant store with the super latest technology. Be daring to do that and get noticed, and we will be the part who tag along with you to get some benefit. Literally thanks to JD Sports that aren't we get more stuff now?
Yeah, way more.
Oh,
way more.
Can you imagine you go to other country like Indonesia who don't have JD Sports?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm pretty much done, almost done. Just left that 2 questions. So all this talked about, do you think this business is worth doing?
Worth doing, yes. There's so much excitement, and there's so slim chances for you to stay survive. I feel excitement of doing this, and it seems like I'm getting pressure all the time, and I'm kind of enjoying this. So it's like one mistake you make, you just totally screw up. Wow, but
Better than Genting.
But somehow, Yeah, it's better. It's Genting cannot
Cannot compare.
to this.
Casino cannot compare to this.
Can you imagine Genting is you lose, you go home and you can sleep. this mistake, can you imagine this mistake? One I make already. There's a few thousand pair of shoes in my warehouse that waiting you to eat.
And maybe few people have to lose their job.
Yeah. Yeah, and even though the warehouse guy who keep carrying the stock and keeps looking at you, staring at you, might want to kill you at night. Yeah, you can't make their life harder. Their life are bearing on you. And it's worth doing because once you achieve that, 10 years ago there's no SoleWhat, 12 years ago there's no SoleWhat, 12 years now, sneaker is a big part of the teen culture. So I think we've done a little bit of contributions.
Speaking of contribution, like you guys have a lot of queuing that happened in SoleWhat the past 4 years.
Yeah.
Super a lot of queuing. And like
none of the bad incident happens, right?
And I just want to talk about like this. I just want to bring this up because I don't think SoleWhat gets enough credit for what you guys have been doing in terms of the queuing and all that kind of stuff. So I just want to ask, like, do you think being a sneakerhead really helps in terms of planning for a queue?
No,
it doesn't.
It doesn't, because it's very, how to say, it's very tiring for doing this. I would like to.
I mean,
I would like to see that the brand give you something very good, very precious. So when you took the precious gift, it actually can turn to the poison drugs. You just have to. How do you manage to meet everyone's visions?
Okay.
The vision is you launch it successfully, everyone happy, less reseller or whatever, everyone got the shoe. Of course, we want everyone to have the shoe, but we can't. So the best way is we need to, my KPI, my opinion, my personal opinion KPI is we have to launch it peacefully and fair, and everyone have a good journey. So that's the extra effort from my side for SoleWhat. So I want everyone in the queue, secure the queue. When you queue, your place is secure. Even though you didn't get the shoe, you don't feel bullied. I also appreciate that you've been staying with me for a few midnight. So to bring us how to control the crowd.
Yeah.
When I say this, it sounds to be very easy, but when in front of you there's a few thousand people, that's never easy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm surprised that we managed to do it by 4 or 5 guys.
Do you prefer a physical lineup, or do you think online is the way to go?
I always prefer physical lineup to interact with people, but just that there's too many incidents that's a bit out of control. So we just want to play a safe side. So online referral is the best way. Sad to say. But if one day everyone know how to queuing up and play safe and play by the rules, yeah, why not?
What do you think about something like membership? Do you think membership helps?
I don't like circle. I don't like being categorized as SoleWhat people. I don't like circle. I don't like to track my customer in particular circle. So it's a chicken and egg thing. I need to perform my best, so you come to my shop. There's no any linkage between that. I don't like membership members. There's a tie that, oh, you treat me nice, I treat you nice. No. If I perform well, if I bring the stuff you want, you come and buy. Thanks. But if I don't suit your need, then what for I need to use the membership to tie you up? I prefer it this way. I prefer it this way to motivate me to. At first, since day one, we are against the membership idea. So I maybe put it as a simple reason. I just want to have another card in my wallet. Back then, yeah. So I don't want restricted to be a circle. That's the main point.
So we've pretty much covered everything I wanted to ask. Is there anything else you want to have any last say before we go?
Follow my Instagram.
We'll put his Instagram up here at Natural Worm.
Yeah.
Also at SoleWhat.
Yeah.
And what else? Snapchat.
I didn't get Snapchat now.
Oh, you stopped Snapchat already?
Yeah, I stopped Snapchat now.
Wow,
because
amazing.
I getting more and more busier. Follow my Instagram, and if someone who knows Chinese trying to find me to read my article, I basically mention everything inside. Although my article
mention again, or maybe you mention again all your platforms that you're
my
on.
platform is Zhihu, or you can follow my WeChat official account. Although my article is not for local market, but you can learn a lot of things inside.
Yeah.
Although it's I don't think it's possible to translate to English. I'm really sorry.
We've tried many times. I think there was some sort of deal going on between me and him. We were trying to like, hey bro, whenever you finish writing, you just send it over. We'll try to translate. And then I've tried sending your article to a few like super good Chinese people. They're like, I think there's no way to really translate it because the word written in Chinese really is very specific to Chinese, and it's very hard to translate something that is written that deep.
I'm just at the same time I'm just trying to make sure that my experience and knowledge being contribute like this podcast to the brand, to you, to everyone, to make it a better scene.
All right. Thank you so much, Nelson, for coming
welcome.
on. This is Sneakernomics, and you won't see me again next week because Julian's back.
That's my first time to official up on a video, right? I'm normally just...
Oh no, second time. First time was the feng shui.
Yeah, just because of you.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you again next week. Take care.